Hello everyone, I'm Michael of Rolling a Double 20, and today we have a challenge. Beating Mass Effect 2 with only pistols. I should just say the Carphanex, but we don't start out with the Carphanex. So why am I doing this? Because right now, my Mass Effect 1 with only pistols is currently the most viewed video on my channel. And I have the brain of a Hollywood executive. Just make a lazy-ass sequel with painful references to the first. We do start with ourselves getting blown the fuck up, which is always a good sign. As for my character, he's still Pistol John Shepard from the first. We wake up with Miranda telling us to grab a pistol, which has made PJ very happy. Of course, we first witnessed a downgrade to overheating guns to guns with clips, which always seemed ass backwards to me. In fact, I think they referenced this in Mass Effect 3. Our first proper gunfight is with these mechs. Quick note, I am on normal difficulty, and our mission is to simply get the fuck off the station and find Miranda. Miranda points us to a grenade launcher, while I did have to equip the grenade launcher and point it at the door to get the mechs to spawn. Thankfully, I didn't need to use it. A bit later, we bump into a mercenary named Jacob, and we have to help him. Unfortunately, this is where the run fails, for a very stupid reason. Until you order Jacob to use his pole biotic power, the mechs will not stop respawning. I looked it up later and my suspicions were correct. So no, you cannot beat Mass Effect 2 with only pistols. So I could end the video here, roll credits, but I wanted to see how far I can stretch this. So after that failure, I let out some frustration. We then find our second companion, Wilson. And yes, using Unity is allowed because it's not an attack. And the game puts another object in my way. I must use Wilson's overload to blow up some canisters, even though I could probably just vault over those blocks there. Just before we leave, Miranda appears and kills Wilson, explaining that he was the traitor. Why did he betray us, and what proof did Miranda have? I have no idea. It's never brought up again. Anyways, we are brought to the Elusive Man, who explains that after we were blown up, Cerberus, a human terrorist cell, spent billions and 2 years bringing us back to life. Why? Well, human colonies have been disappearing, and they want us to investigate. So we begin our search with Miranda and Jacob on Freedom's Progress. I had a big blunder here. So Miranda is equipped with a heavy pistol and a machine pistol. So what's the problem? Well, the machine pistol is actually classified as a submachine gun, and even though I kept checking, well, my dumb brain thought she had the heavy pistol equipped. It wasn't until I saw the shuriken name that I realized my fuck up. I had no choice but to replay the mission again. Still, I meet up with Tally, who explains they're looking for a missing Quarian. So we shoot our way through and eventually have to take down this Ymir, which is more time consuming than challenging. You're going to hear that a lot in this video, I think. Anywho, we find Vitor, and thanks to him, we learn about a race called the Collectors, and they are the ones abducting human colonies. So we have our antagonist and our goal. The Elusive Man says all we did was confirm his suspicions. In exchange, he gives us our pilot Joker and the much better SR2. So back on the ship, we blew up in. So one of the things the Elusive Man gave us are dossiers of recruitable companions, which are the lifeblood of any Bioware game. And 3 can be recruited on Omega. And we grab Zahid first thing off the ship, but he asks us to take down a gang leader in return. I will get to this in a bit. We still need to find someone named Archangel and a doctor named Mordin. So I headed to Arya, Queen of Omega. She gives us information, and we leave. I did some prep work for the Archangel's quest, but I went to go get Mordin first. Long story short, a plague is affecting people and Mordin is trying to cure it. I made another mistake here when I picked Zaid. See, unlike Mass Effect 1, companions are only allowed 2 weapons, and so some of the companions cannot use pistols, such as Zaid. This makes using said companions illegal in this run, forcing a restart. This also means that certain companion quests cannot be completed, so let's put an X on Zaid. Initially, I was going to restrict myself from shooting exploding barrels, but I quickly dropped that rule as it became way too unpredictable. One issue I kept having was, well, every time there was a reloaded save, the companions would switch to the primary. This means I did not notice Jacob using his shotgun, which in turn caused another reload. After fighting my way through some goons, I meet Mordin and he hands me the best pistol in the game, the Carphanex. the second of only 3 pistols in the entire game. The other pistol is the Phalanx, but you need to complete the Fire Upgrade DLC to get it. And well, this is already a 14-hour playthrough, and no fucking way am I extending the length of this playthrough for one fucking gun. For now, I help Mordin cure the plague, and this Carphanex is a lot more powerful than the Predator I was using earlier, although it loses ammo very fast. Curing the plague and recruiting Mordin is as easy as a button, and we recruit Mordin. On top of that, we unlock the ability to upgrade our shit. While health and shield upgrades, as well as ship guard upgrades, are useful in every playthrough, I specifically kept an eye on pistol upgrades. However, do you remember when I mentioned that we can't do certain missions because they'll force us to use a companion that can't be used in a pistol-only run, thus defeating the whole point of this fucking challenge? Well, one upgrade is locked behind a loyalty mission we can't do, and another is in the Shadow Broker DLC. And more damning than that is the cost. No, not in money, but a time investment in playing one of the most boring fucking minigames ever existed. We need to play this planet scanning game for Palladium. If you're like me, and don't use a guide to find this stuff, it could be one hell of a time sink. On the bright side, Mordin does use a pistol, so he can be used. Let's use him to find this Archangel. And according to the recruiter from earlier, he's been causing the gangs a massive headache. We pretend to side with the Marks and sabotage what we can. And we fight our way to this Archangel. And it turns out this Archangel is actually our dear old friend Garrus. And well, he went a bit vigilante crazy, and now we have to bust him out of this mess. And remember, Garrus is technically not a companion yet, so his shots don't count. Still, with nothing like the Carphanex, we take out the Eclipse, the Blood Pack, and Blood's Sons. Unfortunately, our boy got shot, and we got a gunship to take out. So good news and bad news. Good news is that Garrus lives. Bad news is we can't use him, or do his loyalty mission. After a short visit to the Citadel to grab Kasumi, and we can use her, yippee! I headed to grab Jack, and all we have to do is grab her from a prison. Easy peasy. Of course, the prison exchange doesn't go according to plan, because we can't have the player do any missions without fighting. And while we do free Jack, she runs off, blowing up everything, which is my job. And after fighting my way through constant low ammo and many goons, I get to the mini-boss. You know, I wouldn't have these low ammo problems if they didn't switch to an ammo system. Once the boss is dead, a cutscene appears allowing us to get Jack. And right now, we don't know Jack. Sorry, I had to. So in between missions, I have been keeping an eye on the upgrades, including the ship upgrades, because I know you want to know what's the best possible outcome under these rules. And thankfully, I was curious too. On the plus side, Jack is allowed, and she uses a pistol. Alright, so far one more companion to go. Okeer, a Krogan scientist. Of course, it can't be simple. So quick lore lesson, all Krogan have a disease which was made by the Salarians and Turians called the genophage, which makes the vast majority of Krogan infertile. Okeer here was trying to create clones that would ignore the genophage, and he hired some merc to protect his work. And these mercs have turned on him. So let's kill this merc captain. Somehow Okeer gets gassed and we take his prototype clone to the Normandy. I still don't know how Okeer got gassed, and we didn't, but oh well. Because it's time to wake up this prototype. No way is this a bad idea. Well, that could have gone a bit better. Can we use him? No, we cannot. After getting all these Darkseer companions, excluding Kasumi, she's a DLC character, the elusive man forces us to a colony called Horizon because he suspects it's about to be hit by collectors. Honestly, great. So far, we've only been fighting various mercenaries. Let's get back to killing the main antagonist. Horizon is a mandatory story quest, so in terms of the challenge, the only thing worthy of noting is that Harbinger begins taunting him, as if we aren't decimating his army. I can't believe I accidentally pushed the wrong button. Reload. Where'd that fireball come from? Did a maid from Dragon Age suddenly spawn in? Motherfucker. And this is where the difficulty spikes. Thankfully I'm on normal, so it's not hair pulling. I did beat it, but my only reward was getting snubbed by Ashley. Think she got tired of mourning Sir Shepard's pistol. So after Horizon, all the companions slowly started asking Shepard for favors. First was Jacob. We'll deal with him later. Next is Miranda. But as we can see from the screen, there are more companions to recruit. So let's do that first. Next up is my girl Tally. She's on a scouting mission that got compromised. The only unique gameplay feature in this mission is the fact that the sun fries your shields. So you must do as the Spartans and fight in the shade. Going over the footage is not much to say, aside from saving Rieger. Needless to say, I get Tally, and the mission ends. Also, Jack now gives me her loyalty mission, just before I head to Ilium. This is where we meet a lot of the people we helped on Noveria. Most importantly, we reconnected with Liara, and this allows us to do the Shadow Broker DLC. I'm not playing the DLC, so we'll just ask her where to find Thane and Samara. So I went after the assassin Thane first. He's currently on a personal assassination mission to cleanse his soul or something, and we have to go up a tower and create the biggest distraction we can. How big? By murdering every merc in this place. This is the mission where the Carphinex's low ammo really started to annoy me. Actually, it was doing that all throughout the game. But this is the point where I just wanted it over. I still got Thane. I trudged through Samara's recruitment next, not before Mordin asked for his help. So Samara is part of an elite group of alien vampire hunters called the Justicars, and she's after a very specific vampire named Morinth. And in order to recruit her, we need the name of Morinth's ship. In terms of gameplay, there's nothing new. This is always amusing.
I am a biotic god. I think things, and they happen.
Wasea will tear you apart. Take a nap. You'll feel better.
Are you mad? I'm unstoppable. Feasting on her biotic-rich blood will be the...
We return with the ship named to Samara, and she joins our party. And I took a 2-month break because I had other projects and the pistol fun was not very fun anymore. But I did come back and finish it. When I came back, first thing I did was check if I could use Samara or Thane. Disappointingly, neither can be used. So I just spent roughly 2 hours, an entire recording session for companions I can't even fucking use. All the recruitment missions, save for the last one, were done. Finally, time for the meat of any Bioware game, and that's the loyalty missions. And these need to get done for the best ending possible. Now, remember, certain companions I cannot use, meaning their loyalty missions are forfeit. Plus, we need 3 certain ship upgrades to make sure as many people survive. If we do enough planet scanning, that'll be no trouble. Just get the Thanix cannon, multi-core shielding, and the heavy ship armor. Get these from Jacob, Tally, and Garrus. Boom, we're done with that. Now, onto the loyalty missions we can do, which are Jack, Jacob, Miranda, Mordin, Tally, Kasum, and Kasumi. Doesn't matter which order, which means we can't do Saeed's, Garrus's, Thane's, Grunt's, Samara's, or later, Legion's loyalty mission. Since I was already near Ilium, I did Miranda's loyalty mission first. She wants us to save her sister, Ariana, from mercenaries who have been hired by her tyrannical father. Turns out her old friend, a man by the name of Niket, wanted to turn over Ariana because she was an infant at the time and thus didn't get a choice. Although it's not like Niket is giving Ariana a choice now. After some planet scanning for ship upgrades, Jacob's mission was next. He got a recent distress call from a father long dead. Surprise! Jacob's dad didn't die. He crash landed on a hostile world and enslaved a woman with brain-rotting food, so he may have a harem kingdom. I did die once and had to re-equip my companion's pistols, but other than that occasional headache, there wasn't much of a challenge here. Jacob's dad's only defense was, "It is what it is." Yeah, I had him arrested. During this time, the elusive man is going to send you into a trap to collect data. I actually had trouble seeing during this mission, though I'm not sure what caused that. In terms of gameplay, it was rather annoying. So after this, the elusive man will give us the location of a Reaper Identify Friend foe. Do not do this mission before completing as many loyalty missions as possible. And of course, get as many resources as possible and upgrades as possible. It will help. My next step is Jack's loyalty. She's been having some PTSD from being a child prisoner, and she wants to blow up the base that tortured her. Sounds legit. after you complete both Miranda's and Jack's quests, they'll have a fight, and you either need enough good boy points or bad boy points to keep them both loyal. Or you can pick a side and use a speech check later. I don't remember when, but Tally gave me her loyalty mission, and I went to go do that. Mostly so I can see under the mask, both physically and metaphorically. Tally has been exiled, and we're brought on to find evidence, as well as her dad, who went dark recent. With our trusty pistol, we find her dad's ship full of hostile gas, him dead, and evidence that he was experimenting on sentient machines. Do not use this evidence to exonerate Tally, as her loyalty and romance will become unavailable. Either use one of the two speech options, or if you've saved Peter on Freedom's progress and Rieger during Tally's recruitment mission, you can rally the crowd to get the judges to back down. Mona's mission is pretty straightforward. Former student of his is believed kidnapped and is working on a cure for the Krogan genophage. Look, I'm sorry I'm kinda glossing over the game, but A, this script is pretty damn long, and B, I'm not encountering any roadblocks. Twist of this one is Malin wasn't kidnapped and did brutal barbaric experiments for his cure. Finally is Kasumi's quest. Uniquely, we can't bring any other companions besides Kasumi herself. She wants us to steal a memory box that holds her deceased lover's memory, and these memories contain embarrassing secrets of the Alliance. We are never told what those secrets are, but I like to imagine it's the leaders of the Alliance all taking bubble baths with Barbie dolls. Since this is a DLC quest, it's a lot more elaborate than most other loyalty quests. But that doesn't mean the gunplay changed, although having Kasumi switch to her pistol before she fired was annoying. One other thing that actually made this difficult were these damn recharging shields on the gunship. I sighed so hard when this first happened. It's gonna be one of those bosses. Thankfully, there is a cutscene where Kasumi will damage the shields, making this fight easier. With the gunship destroyed, we complete Kasumi's quest, and that's all the loyalty missions I can do under these rules. It's time to finally grab the Reaper I am. There is some gameplay aspects to talk about here. See, there's a lot of husk. In fact, a stupid amount. And they're melee enemies, meaning I found myself constantly having to back up a lot here. This happens with all melee opponents, but it was especially prominent here. I thought for sure I was going to die a lot in this room. Not only is the room hard to maneuver in, I had to run around in circles and taking pot shots at the glowing orb. And that did it. Here we find a friendly Geth who we later call Legion. And Legion uses the same weapon types as Garrus, meaning we can't use him or do his quest. Great. So we have the Reaper and all the ship upgrades, and we did all the loyalty missions we could. All that's left to do is do at least 2 missions to progress the timer. So we go away through no actions of our own, except the story wants this story right now. Instead, in the only time over the course of 3 games we play as someone else, instead of our shepherd, we play as Joker, the pilot, as the crew gets abducted. Joker activates the Bethesda kill everything console commands, but activates it too late as everyone is now kidnapped. Now, in order to get the best ending, you have to start the final mission now. Anything else and half the crew dies. Plus, I was very eager at this point to get it over with. Just as we were about to launch a suicide mission, Tally says she wants to try out Shepard's pistol. Alright, for the finale. There's no roadblocks in terms of the pistol-only challenge. There's none. Just make sure you check your companions. But if we want the best ending possible, here goes. Make sure you have the Thanix cannon, the multi-core shielding, and the heavy ship armor. And these cutscenes should play out as follows.
Take these bastards out!
As long as the new plating holds.
They want another round? Come on, girl, let's give it to them.
By impact debris that size, Shepard.
Well, I guess it's a good thing we upgraded. We're going in! Come on, find some room.
Kinetic barriers at 40%.
Reroute non-critical power. This is gonna hurt. Damage report.
Kinetic barriers steady at 30%.
Time to show our new team. Fire the main gun.
How do you like that, you sons of bitches?
Get in close and finish him off.
After that, you are told to put someone in a vent to open up a door on the other side. Normally, Tally, Kasumi, and Legion are the correct choices here, but due to our challenge, Legion is not loyal enough and thus will die if we send him into the vents. So here, it's between Kasumi and Tally. Next is the squad leader, to lead the rest of the team on an alternate distraction route. Normally Miranda, Garrus, or Jacob. However, Garrus will not be loyal enough to survive, so it's either Miranda or Jacob. After aiding the ventee, we'll come across our abducted crew, and they will all be here. If we did not do any side missions, now I'll briefly touch on companions and their hold the line score. So every companion has a set amount of points for a final battle. So because of our rules, 6 of our companions will have lower points. Now, in order to save the crew, we need to send someone back with them, and we should send a loyal squad mate. I recommend a squad mate with a low hold the line score. That way, they don't lower the average overall. Either Tally, Kasumi, Mordin, or Jack. But we're going to need Jack in a bit, so don't pick her. So in order to bypass some security and open a way for our squad mates, we need to head into the Sweet Seeker Swarm filled hallway. In order to protect us from the swarm, Samara suggests creating a biotic field. Under normal circumstances, only Samara and Jack are capable enough to pull off the shield. Otherwise, one of our squad mates will die. Samara's not loyal enough, so only Jack is available. Plus, you need to pick a squad leader again, Miranda or Jacob, because again, Garrus ain't loyal. This part of the mission is absolutely infuriating because if you step outside the bubble, you will slowly take damage. And most of the enemies are melee focused, so backing up to shoot these assholes is an absolute pain in the ass. I died here, a few times I believe. Ignore the cutscene, we were using pistols. Alright, now pick 2 final squad mates and the rest will hold the line for you. This is where the hold the line score comes in. Whether or not our team lives based on an average score. For example, Garrus' score is 3, and it would have been 4 if we completed his loyalty mission, and we need an average of 2 points. So take the squad mates with the lowest points so they don't lower the average. This is Kasumi, Tally, Jack, and Mordin. If the score is 2 or above, everyone will live. If the score is 1.8, for example, a squad mate will die. For every half point below 2 will equal a dead companion. And for every dead companion, the game will run down on a list of names to check if they are loyal. If they are disloyal, the game will kill them first. But if all of them are loyal, it will kill the first name on the list. So Mordin can easily die here even if he is loyal. So long as the companions you bring with are loyal, they will survive the final battle. Speaking of the final boss, this fugly thing that reminds me of my old baby pictures, I could show them, but I don't wish for you to get PTSD. Speaking of PTSD, Garrus didn't make it. And he was the only one to die. Fuck. After an epilogue, I can say no, you cannot beat Mass Effect 2 with only pistols. Because of this event way back, remember? Do I recommend this challenge? No. Why? Because you are locking yourself out of some great side stories and companion dialogue. This has been your host, Michael of Rolling the Double 20. Thank you for watching.